Because he's a poet that I like. There we go. Okay. There was a cracking in her attic, the kind that settles in your bones, makes your heart flee when you have the thought of facing it alone. Her mind made it an object, with each crack sending her numb, like the noise possessed a pair of hands wrapped tight around her each lung. The world told her to fear it. There's nothing good in the unknown, as she wondered if they'd ever faced the creaking of their own. So she built herself a ladder from the thoughts that screamed to stop, and she climbed it to the darkness, waiting at the very top. There inside her attic, prepared to fight it to the death, her fingers shook against the switch, and fear gripped at her breath. As the light flickered above her, not a monster was in view, but a group of dreams she dared not to have and feared they'd never come true. The creaking in her attic had been a plea into her heart, a dare to face the unknown and release them from the dark. Because you won't encounter freedom if you give into your fright, sometimes the bravest thing you'll ever do is just turn on the light. Okay, I don't know what their interpretive dancing is, but it seemed to be really good. Okay, so here's the next one. I am sending you this postcard from the dark side of the moon, so you know I got here safely and that I will be home soon. For today I held our planet between the fingers on my hand and learned there's more stars out here than our Earth has grains of sand. So now the life I ran from doesn't seem like such a wreck, when the town that I grew up in isn't more than just a speck. And although my life feels tiny, as I look back at our home, I've realized we're the only ones who don't live it alone. That sometimes even shooting stars send pieces down to earth when their solitary beauty starts to cost more than it's worth. I am sending you this postcard from the silence of the skies to remind you that there's beauty in our microscopic size. So I hope next time you feel alone, the moon shows you you're not, and how lucky we all are to find our home on this blue dot. And then I just have one more. So, in my old town, there was a girl who dropped seeds everywhere she went, while all the boys carved out their names in any patch of wet cement. They'd laugh at her and tell her she would never make a mark if all she left behind were some falling leaves and bark. So I wonder if they've been back since we grew and left that place, or if they still carry their markers in their pockets just in case. Because I'd love to see their faces if I told them what I've seen, that the streets where we once played now drown beneath the sea of green. And their names scratched on the sidewalk weren't as eternal as they planned. For in the place where they once wrote them, an endless forest proudly stands. Would they tell that girl they're sorry if they ever had the choice? For not knowing those worth hearing don't always have the loudest voice. That in the future, all the things we do will still have an effect, and that sometimes those who change the world are those you least expect.